For this project, you will need to have the pattern. If you have yours, you can use yours, but for those of you who doesn't, I'll attach the link with it in the description box below. Some stretchable fabric, I'm going to use a 4-way stretch polyester. Soft lining fabric for the gusset, the fold-over elastic, you also will need to have the threads, which are matching your elastic and the fabric, the lighter, the piece of chalk to outline the pattern, the scissors, some needles to pin the fabric. Fold your fabric in half, place the pattern on top of the fold of the fabric, grab the chalk and outline everything around. Then cut it off. On top of the front element, place the back element, face to each other. Then grab the lining fabric and with the face down, place it on top. Pin it with the needle. Go to your overlocker or sewing machine and sew here. And if you are going to use the overlocker, then overlock the top edge of the gusset as well. When you finish to sew, it should look this way. Grab the scissors and cut off the leftover of the threads. Then burn the leftover of the threads with the lighter. This is our gusset max, which is here on the pattern. We need to take the lining fabric and place this on top of the max. Pin it with the needles. Grab the elastic and sew it on here and here. This is the fold over elastic, and you see this line in the middle? This is the fold place of the elastic. So, grab the fabric and place it in the middle of the elastic. Fold the elastic this way and sew it here. When you start to sew, you don't stretch the fabric. You stretch a little bit only the elastic. When you come close to the gusset, make sure that the lining fabric stays on the max. When you finish to sew, it should look this way. Do the same on the other side. Fold the panties face to each other and align the side seams. Pin it with the needles. Go to your overlocker or sewing machine and sew here. When you start to sew side seams, always start with the elastic. Place this under the needles. Put the needles on top of the elastic and start to sew. Grab the scissors and cut off the threads. Take the elastic again and sew it here everywhere around up to this place. This is the back element and this is the front element. This is the side seam. Make sure that the side seam push to the back element of the panties. Reverse the panties and align two sides together. Pin it with the needles. Grab the lighter and melt the elastic. Stick it together. Do the same on the other side. And a little bit in the middle as well. Go to your overlocker or sewing machine and sew here. Place the elastic under the needles. Put the needles down on top of the elastic. Start to sew. When you come close to the elastic, put your finger under the foot. It will help to elevate it. And you start to sew. This way the elastic will stay on the same level on the both sides. This is our front element, and this is our back element. Make sure that the side seam pushed to the back element of the panties. Then grab the needle and push it inside the same way like I'm doing here. Block the thread exactly the same way like you see me doing here. Push the side seam to the back element and start to sew. For this you need to grab all the layers of the elastic and put the needle into the loop. Keep sewing this way. When you finish to sew on top, you need to sew on the side here. The principle of sewing is exactly the same. You grab a little bit of the elastic and the side seam and you put the needle into the loop. Block the thread. This way, your elastic will stay on the same level.